I would like to acknowledge a board member who is here and is an incredible supporter of our efforts at AAHHE. And Carmen, can you make your screen a little bigger? Thank you. This is Dr. Carmen Martinez Lopez, and Carmen is our erstwhile treasurer of AAHHE. Many of you have not met her on the screen because she is always doing a lot of, I have to say, behind the scenes work, but also visible work. She co-chairs the Community College Institute that's held at AAHHE annually. But more importantly, as a board member for the last 2 years, she has brought her experience and her wisdom to our financial structures within AAHHE. Dr. Carmen Martinez Lopez is originally from Colombia. She's currently the Dean of the School of Business and Professional Careers at Westchester Community College, the State University of New York. She earned her doctoral degree in international business in the area of management from the University of Texas Pan Am, that is currently now the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. She, again, is currently the Dean of the School of Business and Professional Careers, as I mentioned. Prior to that, she was the Dean of the Division of Business, Arts, and Social Sciences at Bergen Community College. She's been with the CUNY, the City University of New York system, since 2004. Prior to her administrative role, she held a tenure-track position with City University of New York in the Manhattan Community College and served as deputy chair of the Business Management Department. She has been characterized as an active participant in issues related to Middle States and to achieving the dream, an initiative not only at Westchester College, but also at Bergen Community College. Dr. Lopez has published in the Journal of Management Studies, the Review of Business Research, the International Journal of Business Research, and the International Journal of Knowledge, Culture, and Change Management. She brings to us extensive experience as a leader, as a consultant, as a dean, and she continues to design and lead the implementation of strategic management processes, not only in the community colleges where she leads, but also in Colombian companies. So we're just proud that Dr. Carmen Martinez Lopez is our treasurer. She's in her second year, and we will continue to march forward as we make this journey forward with AAHHE. Carmen, did you want to make a comment?
From New Rochelle, New York, thank you so much. It is my pleasure to contribute to the next generation of Latinas, Latinos, LatinX. Thank you, Patricia. You know how much I love AAHHE. Thank you.
Gracias, Carmen. So wonderful, because she's always there for all of us. Everyone on the board knows that. Well, with that, I'm going to now introduce our next presenter for the award session, and that's Dr. Joanne Canales. So might we get Joanne on the screen with me as well, or just Joanne? I'm a little bit not so adept at this. Thank you, Joanne, for showing up. Dr. Joanne Canales is the founding dean of the College of Graduate Studies at Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. She also served as a senior scholar in residence and is the senior scholar in residence emerita at the Council of Graduate Schools in Washington, D.C. She served there as the dean in residence from 2018 to 2019. She holds degrees from the University of Houston, Laredo State University, and the University of Texas at Austin. During her more than 20-year tenure at AMC Corpus Christi, she served in numerous roles at the college and university levels. and received a 2005-2006 Texas A&M University Corpus Christi Excellence in Teaching Award, and also was a member of the American Council of Education as a fellow with the American Council of Education. She has extensive experience in accreditation, group facilitation, mediation, strategic planning and development, and program evaluation. She was the inaugural chair of the AAHHE Board of Directors in 2018 and 2019, and of course currently is the immediate past chair of the AAHHE Board of Directors. Joanne, Dr. Canales has also served on the boards of the Graduate Record Exam, GRE, and Phi Kappa Phi. She has extensive years of experience in public schools and 3 public institutions in Texas and Colorado, where her scholarship is focused on second language learning, teacher preparation, program efficacy, and issues of access and success in higher education. So it's my great pleasure to turn the award session to Dr. Canales, my colleague and friend. Thank you.
Mil gracias, Patricia. And good morning, afternoon to everyone. It is really my pleasure to do this segment of the conference. I find it a very inspiring one, and I really enjoy preparing the remarks of introduction. It really is my distinct honor and privilege to recognize very deserving individuals who have excelled academically, creatively, or administratively in higher education. And before I proceed, I want y'all to know I'm coming to you from San Miguel de Allende in Guanajuato, Mexico. I keep getting this little blurb that says my connectivity is unstable. So I'm hoping that I will get through all of this. If not, I will be punting to Patricia and or Lucia to continue. This year, the award recipients will be recognized during 2 different plenary sessions, today and Thursday, versus the traditional closing plenary. It is my great pleasure and privilege to introduce the recipients of the following 3 AAHHE Awards: the Founders Award, the Alfredo de los Santos Award, and the University Faculty Award. I will then introduce my wonderful colleague and friend, the distinguished Dr. Arturo Madrid, chair of the 2021 Book Awards Committee, to announce the Book Award recipients. Once again, the awards committee had the daunting task of selecting this year's recipients. With so many wonderful people doing such great things, it was indeed a challenge to identify the award recipients from such an outstanding pool of individuals. We begin the awards presentation with a new award for AAHHE, the Founders Award, in honor of those individuals with the visionary foresight to create this much needed organization. The Founders Award is given in the spirit of the extraordinary leadership, stewardship, and courage envisioned by the higher education. This award honors an individual or organization demonstrating an exemplary commitment to advancing access and success of the Latinx population in higher education, evidencing a pioneering spirit in forging transformational avenues and inclusionary opportunities that support and promote Latinx issues, and achieving outstanding accomplishments aligned with AAHHE's mission. AAHHE is proud to recognize as the inaugural recipient, Dr. Joseph I. Castro, the 8th Chancellor to lead the California State University system. He is the first Californian and the first person from an underrepresented group in higher education to serve in this role. The first in his family to graduate from a university, he earned a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's in public policy from the University of California, Berkeley, and a doctorate degree in higher education policy and leadership from Stanford University. He began his career in the University of California system and over a 23-year period served in a variety of faculty and administrative roles at 5 University of California campuses, namely Berkeley, Davis, Merced, Santa Barbara, and San Francisco. In 2013, he took the helm at California State University, Fresno, and in 2021 became the 8th Chancellor of the California State University system. His trajectory clearly represents an individual with a willingness to not only model access and success, but to position himself to be able to create opportunities for others. Dr. Castro has received institutional, local, state, national, and international recognition for his outstanding leadership. Among his many notable awards are Alumni Excellence in Education Award in 2016 from his alma mater, the Stanford University Graduate School of Education, City of Fresno District 4 Man of the Year in 2018. I might add, he was the inaugural recipient of this award and cited for not only improving the graduation rates, but for his recruitment efforts to communities in Central California, a testament to his transformational and inclusionary practices. Also, he was named CSU President of the Year in 2018 by the California State Student Association, and you know you have arrived when the students acknowledge you. A 5-time recipient on behalf of Fresno State of the Excellence in Innovation Award from the American Association of State Colleges and Universities, a coveted award which is again a testament to his pioneering spirit and forging of new frontiers. And at the international level, he has been recognized as the recipient of the AAHHE Award, the highest honor granted by the government of Mexico to leaders in the United States. In addition, he is a renowned and gifted scholar in the fields of leadership and public policy and has mentored hundreds of other scholars and practitioners, including many university presidents and senior officers. So AAHHE is indeed proud to add yet one more recognition to Chancellor Castro's portfolio, the 2021 Inaugural Founders Award. Because of the unpredictability of a chancellor's schedule during these trying times, Dr. Castro recorded his acceptance remarks. We will now hear from the Chancellor.
Good afternoon. I want to begin by offering my heartfelt thanks and deepest gratitude to Drs. Canales, Arredondo, and Gutierrez, and everyone at AAHHE for recognizing me with this inaugural and most humbling honor. Thanks also to CSU trustee Abrego and Haynes, now retired after a long and distinguished career at the CSU, for nominating me for this special award. And he's founders, leaders,
Kayla, I think I have a stronger connection. If you want to, I can share my screen and just show it.
and Jorge Haynes, now retired after a long and distinguished career at the CSU, for nominating me for this special award. And of course, I'd like to recognize AAHHE's founders, leaders, and membership for continuing their worthy mission to improve educational opportunities for Latino students so that they may fully realize their power, promise, and potential as part of our increasingly diverse society. It is a mission that I and the CSU share, and I consider it one of my greatest privileges and responsibilities as Chancellor. And I'm proud to say that CSU's positive impact on the Latino community in California and across the nation is indeed remarkable. Latino students comprise almost half of the CSU student body, and for the academic year 2019-2020, the university awarded more than 44,000 bachelor's degrees to Latino students. In fact, 62% of the total number of bachelor's degrees earned by Latinos in California are CSU degrees. 64% of the state's engineering degrees earned by Latino students, 66% of the business degrees, and 53% of those in nursing and life sciences. But while the CSU is an extraordinarily powerful driver of socioeconomic ascent for Latino students, with an impact that can't be overstated, it is really the university that owes a debt of gratitude to the Latino community. Latino students are among our brightest and most engaged. They are student leaders at all levels of our university, and they are active in volunteerism, serving the communities in which our campuses are embedded. Beyond that, members of the Latino community are some of our most involved and generous alumni, and they are gifted faculty, dedicated staff, and visionary leaders at the highest campus levels. Of course, much work remains to be done to improve academic preparation and access, to ensure educational equity, to promote STEM education, and to permanently eradicate opportunity gaps. But we'll get there. We won't rest until we do. In closing, I want to reiterate how humbled and profoundly honored I am to receive the inaugural AAHHE Founders Award, the dream that you worked so tirelessly to make a reality for so many. That was my dream, my story. I'm the grandson of a dreamer from Michoacan, Mexico, whose father, my great-grandfather, had come to the United States almost a century ago to help build the railroad. My grandparents were farm workers, and together with my single mother, they raised me, working hard to give me the opportunities they didn't have. I found my way, and eventually myself, through my educational journey, thanks to hard work and some good fortune, and thanks to people like you who believed in and supported me. It's a story that ultimately led me to devote my career to transforming lives, families, and communities like my hometown through the power of higher education. And I look forward to all that we can accomplish together in the years ahead. Thank you again for this honor and for everything you do to help future generations write their own remarkable stories.
Thank the Chancellor. We acknowledge his wonderful trajectory and we wish him well and the best of successes in his new role. And on to our second award, the Alfredo G. de los Santos Distinguished Leadership in Higher Education Award is sponsored by the Hispanic Outlook in Higher Education. It is given to an outstanding administrator who has demonstrated excellence in the profession as a leader, faculty member, mentor, and champion in higher education. This year's winner is Dr. Ann Guidos Gates, Vice Provost for Faculty Affairs at the University of Texas at El Paso. Not only has Dr. Gates demonstrated excellence in the profession as a leader, faculty member, mentor, and champion in higher education, she has evidenced sustainability over her 25-year tenure at UTEP at the departmental, institutional, state, and national levels. Among her notable accomplishments at the departmental level, she held the AT&T Distinguished Professorship in Computer Science and served as chair of the Computer Science Department from 2012 to 2020. At the institutional level, Dr. Gates has served in a variety of administrative roles where she was able to elevate UTEP faculty and students' participation in research experiences. As Associate Vice President for Research from 2008 to 2012, she created and led an initiative focused on identifying funding opportunities, proposal planning and development, professional development workshops, and mentoring to drive UTEP's stature towards a research institution. And she directed the NSF-funded CyberShare Center of Excellence at UTEP that works across colleges to advance interdisciplinary education and research. As Vice Provost, she leads efforts to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion among the faculty. She coordinates a working group of faculty, staff, and students to define and enact the construct of Hispanic servingness at the institution. She trains, mentors, and facilitates the work of other chairs on campus. She oversees recruitment and hiring and retention and promotion of the faculty, of whom 39.5% identify as Hispanic, the largest percentage of any R1 university. And she guides faculty leadership on an asset-based student success initiative that seeks to integrate high-impact practices with a goal of preparing students for leadership and success, both on campus and beyond. Nationally, Dr. Gates serves as the Executive Director of the nationally NSF-funded Computing Alliance for Hispanic Serving Institutions, known as CAHHE, a consortium formed in 2006 to address the low representation of Hispanics in computing in both higher education and the workforce. CAHHE has grown under Dr. Gates' leadership to over 60 colleges and universities and organizations from the public and private sector. Using a collective impact framework, CAHHE brings together universities, industry, non-governmental agencies, and other entities from the public and private sector to guide vision and strategic planning. Because of its evidence-based practices, CAHHE was nationally recognized by the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for Hispanics as a bright spot in Hispanic education in 2015. Also, and very importantly at the national level, Dr. Gates serves on the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, known as NASM, on initiatives to organize, coordinate, and provide national logistical support to use systems approaches to address issues in undergraduate STEM education. She also serves on the NASM Women of Color in Technology Study Group and the American Association for the Advancement of Science Awards, a framework drafting group to effect national sustainable change with regard to diversity, equity, and inclusion at institutions of higher education. She has been recognized for her leadership and mentorship with many awards. I would like to highlight two in particular. She was named to the Hispanic Business Magazine's 100 Influential Hispanics in 2006 for her work on the Affinity Research Group model. And she's being featured in a PBS documentary funded by NSF, focused on providing inspiration and mentorship to young adults aspiring to become professionals in the field of computer science. Her nominator wrote, "Dr. Gates' leadership has altered the course of higher education for the better for Hispanic students and faculty at UTEP and far beyond. She is a leader and mentor of leaders, and I can think of no one more deserving of this recognition than her. And we at AAHHE could not agree more. And I would add that her commitment to the Latinx community knows no bounds. When called upon, she will find a way to do whatever is necessary to make sure the Latinx voice is front and center and at the table." And now it is my great pleasure to invite Dr. Ann Quiroz Gates, the 2021 recipient of the Alfredo de los Santos Award, to share a few remarks with our audience.
Thank you so much, Dr. Canales. It really means a lot to me to have you present this award. I really appreciate your kind introduction. I am humbled to receive an award that is named in honor of Alfredo de los Santos Jr. His legacy centered on service to students and community inspires me and really guides my efforts in higher education. I share this recognition with my colleagues across UTEP, the CAHHE family and team, and then my family has always supported and motivated my efforts. I want to thank AAHHE for this great honor, and I want to applaud you for all the great work that you do for the advancement and really addressing the Hispanic cause. Thank you again. I'm truly honored.
And moving on to the final award, the Outstanding University Faculty Award recognizes an individual who has demonstrated excellence in both research and teaching and has provided significant contributions to his or her academic discipline. This year's recipient is Dr. Veronica Terriquez, Associate Professor at the University of California, Santa Cruz. Professor Terriquez capitalized on her passion as a community organizer and volunteer for various education reforms, immigrant rights, labor rights, and racial justice efforts in pursuing her undergraduate, master's, and doctoral degrees in sociology at Harvard, UC Berkeley, and UCLA, respectively. She is the author of 23 peer-reviewed journal articles with more forthcoming, 7 book chapters, and over 30 research reports for general and policy audiences. Her stellar work has led to a Ford Foundation postdoc fellowship, a Distinguished Article Award in the area of Latino sociology, and most recently, a faculty fellowship in the Center for Advanced Studies in the Behavioral Sciences at Stanford University, where she will be completing a book, already under contract, I might add, on the political activism of the adolescent and young adult children of immigrants. In fall 2021, she will assume the directorship of the UCLA Chicano Studies Research Center, holding appointments in the Chicana and Central American Studies and Urban Planning departments. Dr. Terriquez has engaged in scholarship that has had a far-reaching public impact, bringing keen sociological insights to understanding some of the most pressing concerns of our time and advancing sociological and public understanding of how inequality is not only reproduced, but disrupted in Latinx, immigrant, and low-income communities. I invite you to read her bio and particularly her work on the Central Valley Freedom Summer Project that has had such a significant outcome and impact in California. And I want to give her time to give some remarks. And so I will close by reading a comment from her nominator. Terriquez serves as an exemplary role model for generous mentorship and engaged public sociology. She regularly co-authors both peer-reviewed journal articles and community reports policy briefs, not only with undergraduate and graduate students, but with high school students as well. She has trained countless students, especially first-generation college students, to analyze the struggles of communities who are marginalized by race, ethnicity, immigration, status, gender, sexuality, and their interactions in educational achievement. And on that note, I would like to exercise personal privilege, having chaired the awards committee over several years, to commend Uriel Serrano, a doctoral student at the University of California, Santa Cruz, clearly a huge fan of Professor Terriquez. He not only wrote a very comprehensive, compelling letter of nomination for Professor Terriquez, he included a spreadsheet with links to her works, the titles, and excerpts from the publications. And now it is my great pleasure to invite Professor Terriquez, the 2021 recipient of the Outstanding University Faculty Award, to share a few remarks with our audience.
Thank you, Dr. Canales. I'm truly honored by this award. And I just want to recognize everybody who's here, who's part of the AAHHE conference. I know that all of you are here to advance the needs of Latinx communities in higher education and beyond. And you must be commended for this work because it's hard all the time. It's a difficult and challenging and heartfelt work that we do. But this year has been particularly exceptionally challenging as we face multiple crises and so much loss and heartbreak. So I really want to honor all of you who are here today and who are part of this larger conference. So thank you for your extraordinary life-changing work. I want to say I'm truly grateful for Uriel Serrano and all of the other students and scholars and mentors who nominated me for this important honor. I also want to acknowledge that I wouldn't be here without the countless mentors who've made it possible for me to achieve a PhD and to be in a tenure track position, to be able to engage community in the work that I do. So I am grateful to them. I'm grateful to my family, my parents, my brother, Monica and Nessa. Without them, I wouldn't be alive and standing. I would probably fall apart. And I want to thank the awards committee for their service. Finally, I want to thank all of the courageous young people who have been part of my research on grassroots youth organizing. They inspire me as they fight for racial justice, for immigrant rights, and for a better future for all of us. So they also keep me motivated. Thank you all for this tremendous honor and thank you all for this, for your ongoing work.
Thank you, Professor Terriquez. And now on to recognize the 2021 AAHHE Book Awards. My good friend and colleague, Professor Arturo Madrid.
Buenas tardes. I'm going to exercise a point of personal privilege here. I'll move rapidly to say that I'm deeply moved to see still another generation rising to the challenge. I entered this profession 50 plus years ago and was involved in Sembrando Semillas very, very early on. And I'm glad to see that so many of them have sprouted and grown and developed, and in turn seeded new possibilities. And second, to say how pleased I am to learn of the Leadership Awards. I used to say, in particular because of the untimely death and premature death of my friend and colleague, the late Tomás Rivera, that we need to honor our heroes before they die. And so I'm delighted that we're doing so. Buenas tardes, Patricia Redondo, I believe, or Joanne, my dear friend, referred to me as distinguished. And I say these days I'm mainly extinguished. I've been retired for the last 6 years. And so I welcome opportunities like this to rise from the ashes. It's been my honor to serve as the chair of the Book of the Year Committee for the past several years. This will be my final year of service, and I want to acknowledge the confidence accorded to me, the good counsel by Luis Olivas, Director Emeritus of AAHHE, and of course, Joanne Canales, who served in this capacity previously, but also and particularly to Patricia Redondo and Lucia Gutierrez, whom we don't see on screen, but was behind screen attending to these things, for permitting and making it possible for this very inept technological person to be on screen with you. I also want to take a moment to recognize and to thank the members of the Book Awards Committee who have served with me during this period. Doctors Laura Rendon, Aida Hurtado, and Carmen Tafoya. We were joined this year by Luis Olivas and Patricia Redondo. I thank my fellow committee members for the time and effort they've spent reviewing the submissions and for their exceptional contributions to this important enterprise. It's a pleasure to be here with you to announce not the Book of the Year Award, but in a departure from prior years, the Books of the Year Awards. Historically, AAHHE has identified one book for its annual book award. During the period while I served as chair of the committee, my fellow committee members and I developed criteria for the award that were responsive to AAHHE's mission, that of advancing Hispanics in higher education. The criteria we instituted emphasized the importance of recognizing submissions that provided new and useful knowledge in that regard, and that furthermore were highly accessible to AAHHE's membership. Our decisions in prior years and currently reflect those criteria. 2020 was a difficult year for authors and publishers, but thanks to the efforts of multiple persons, we were able to secure a significant number of submissions. As we reviewed them, the committee determined that the heterogeneity and the quality of the submissions argued for making more than one award. This led us to recommend the creation of 3 categories for the Book Awards, as well as the creation of a new award. My fellow committee members and I are pleased that our recommendations have been approved. The 3 new categories are the edited volume category, the senior scholars category, and the early career category. On Thursday, AAHHE will also make a first-time award, the Distinguished Author Award, to scholar activists whose contributions to the fund of knowledge on the U.S. Hispanic population has been exceptional. At this point, let us move forward on to the awards ceremony. The book cover and the names of the awardees will become available on your screen. We already have the edited volume category in front of you. The 2021 Book of the Year Award in the edited volume category goes to High Achieving Latino Students, published by Information Age Publishing. Congratulations to co-authors Susan Paik, Stacy Kula, Jeremiah Gonzalez, and Veronica Gonzalez, whose faces I previously saw on the screen. Well done. In the 2021 Senior Scholar category, there were 2 Books of the Year awards, and we can have that one on the screen now, Lucia.
Change the screen, please. Thank you.
Very good. The first one is the Chicano Chicanx Dream, Hope, Resistance, and Educational Success, published by Harvard Education Press and co-authored by Gil Conchas and Nancy Acevedo, you see before you. The second 2 books, we gave 2 awards in this category, should be coming up next. Understanding the LatinX Experience, published by Stylish Publishing and co-authored by Vasti Torres, Ebelia Hernández, and Sylvia Martinez. You have them before us, and I saw some of their names and faces on the screen previously. And then the third book, if I may, the 2021 Book of the Year Award in the Early Career category goes to Emir Estrada for Kids at Work, published by New York University Press. And you saw her on screen with her delightful child with her. Felicidades to our award-winning authors, as well as our appreciation and thanks to the authors of the multiple submissions we reviewed. Together with the award-winning books, theirs are very significant contributions to the literature on Hispanic higher education and on the experience of Hispanics in U.S. society. Thank you for this honor. Have a wonderful conference.
Gracias, Dr. Madrid, and congratulations, felicidades to all of our Books of the Year award. And I'm very proud that we are able to recognize many more individuals because the work that is being produced is excellent, outstanding, and AAHHE wants to recognize all of you. So thank you again for submitting your publications, and to Dr. Madrid and the committee for the work that was done. And everybody's excited and is putting some felicidades in the chat box. So yeah, adelante. Well, thank you to Dr. Canales again for sharing the awards segment before with recognizing Chancellor Castro and Dr. Quiros Gates, and of course, Dr. Terriquez. So this was a very celebratory time for us. With that, we are going to end this plenary session and give you about 10, a little bit 12 minutes to move to your next sessions, to take a break. And we will see you again tomorrow morning at the 3rd plenary session, same time at 12 noon. This afternoon, you have a number of engaging presentations. Will be the 2nd place winner of the Outstanding Dissertation Committee. We have chair yoga, if someone is interested in chair yoga to stretch yourself out. And then we have a scholarly paper on theorizing and advancing a higher education research agenda for queer and trans Latinx communities. So indeed, it's a very active afternoon. I wish you all well, and thank you for joining us today, this morning, this afternoon. Hasta pronto, hasta mañana.